Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today I'm going to show you how to make these cute little Valentine treat pockets that hold a little candy. And this video is brought to you by Offray Ribbon. You can find them online at www.offray.com, and I will have links in the video description to all the products that I use today. So the first thing you need to do is get a couple pieces of paper. Mine are 3 inches by 12 inches because they just came off a sheet of scrapbook paper, but you could go 3 by 11 if you're using regular cardstock, and you want to fold them each in half. So I have 3 inches by 6 inches now. See? Fold it in half. And then I'm going to use a compass, or you could find like a bottle or a jar that you can trace to be able to make the tops of my rounded hearts. So what I like to do is lay them right on top of each other, kind of at a 90-degree angle, and then use my compass here just to draw a half circle. Okay, pretty simple. And then I stack them up because I want them to be the same. And then using my paper crafting scissors, not your ribbon scissors, you want to make sure you use your paper crafting scissors, I'm simply going to cut right on that line. Make sure I have a nice rounded edge. Alright, now I've got a gridded mat here. What I'm going to do is lay my shapes here, my paper right down, and I'm going to put 2 slits in here. And I'm just, since it's 3 inches wide, I can make a slit at 1 and 2 inches here. Just trace it with my pencil. And then do one right over here. And then I'm simply going to cut on those lines. I'm going to go till about 1 inch from the top. This will just give us a little extra wiggle room as we're weaving our pockets. Alright, now to weave the pockets, it's pretty simple. The key though is to weave them together so we're weaving the front and the back at the same time. That way our pocket will open. Alright, so you want to start by opening them up. And I'm going to take this polka dotted paper, go around the first strip on the flowered print. Then I'm going to go in the flowered print strip, and then I'm going to go around again. Just like that. Okay, so I've got that first row done. Now for the next one, I'm going to take my polka dotted strip, and I've got to push it through a little bit here so that I can access the next row. I'm going to go in the first slot. Okay, so I've gone in the middle of that first slot, pulling it through so I have a little wiggle room. Then I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to put that second slot in there, because see, we're doing the front and the back at the same time. And then that last strip, I'm just going to go inside of that. Just like that. Feel free to pause it. If you're working right along with me, pause it and rewind it if you need to. And then we're going to kind of wiggle it up. Then we got this last one here. So, and you can always check. You can look in there and make sure that you're not getting sealed shut there. So for this last one, the pink, we've got the dark pink in the middle. The next part is going to go through the dark pink strip. And we're going to just pull it through. It is a little awkward at first, but you'll get the hang of it. If you find you're having a hard time weaving this, you can cut your slits a little bit higher. It's probably you haven't cut through far enough if you're having a hard time. And then push that end right through that last strip. And it should be patchwork on both sides. If you see you've got 2 of the same colors together on either side, that means you haven't woven front and back and your pocket's not going to open, okay? So now we have this nice opening pocket. Now, if you want, if you're doing this with kids, you could leave it just like this and maybe put a little hanging string. And I like this, this sheer ribbon for hanging. It's kind of like an organza. And I like to have nice long hang tabs, and I think this would look really cute like for a wedding favor too. So what you could do is either punch or just put a little bit of glue on the front of each heart, okay, the middle of each heart on the inside, and just stick the ends in there. Just be careful if you're using hot glue because this ribbon is really, really sheer. Okay, and it's going to be covered up by our ruffle, so don't worry if it's a little sloppy. So you could just leave it like that, and that's pretty. But I like to add a little something extra, and I would like to make a ruffle with this aqua blue ribbon. And I like to work right from the spool so I don't have any waste. This is a single-faced ribbon, so you'll notice one side is a little more matte and one side's a little more shiny, so I want the shiny side out. And I'm going to start right here at the edge And I'm going to make a bead of glue, a couple inches long. And I'm just going to start kind of pleating as I go. Now I'm using hot glue, so if you're using hot glue, use a low temperature gun. This is not ideal for working with children. If you want to do this with kids, have a bunch of clothespins handy and use tacky glue and just kind of clip it as you go. But I think it might be a little too difficult to do with small children, so you know your kids best and whether they can handle this or not, but I wouldn't use the hot glue with the children. Work right around the corner there. I just start adding some glue right over here and go right around. It's going to give a little more strength toward your pocket this way too, because you've got that nice ribbon reinforcement on the sides. When I get to the end, I'm going to add a little glue to the paper and the ribbon there and just kind of glue it on top of each other. That's going to help with any fraying. And then I'll just trim it on the inside. And there we have our pretty little ribbon ruffle. Now to make the part that holds the candy, it's very simple, but you want to make kind of like a cone to hold your candy. That way it'll kind of sit down in the bottom of the ribbon pocket really well. So you want a square of deli paper or tissue paper. And I've got some deli paper here already cut into a square. And then I like to fold it in half, corner to corner like that. Alright, and then kind of roll it up. So it's like you're making a pastry bag out of parchment paper, kind of. And then you want to open it so that you're kind of in there in that double thickness so there's no hole in the bottom. Okay, so you've got that nice cone. And then pour in some candy. Some M&Ms or something red and white that's festive. Alright, then just want to gather the top and tie a bow with some lovely Offray ribbon. This is a double-faced satin and it's so nice to work with. I try to work from the spool whenever I can so when I trim it I don't have very much waste. Tie that just like so and then trim it. Fluff your ribbon a little bit. And then I want to kind of just maybe get rid of some of the points there and then open it up kind of like a flower. And nice and full. And then I can put that right in my little pocket, just like that. Isn't that cute? Now to make a perfect little bow embellishment, I've got a tip for you. It's very easy and you don't need any special tools. So what you want to do is, again, working from the spool, and I've got the double-faced satin ribbon here, you just want to kind of overlap your ribbon, and so you're just kind of making like a bow the size you want. Okay, all I've done is overlap that. Let me show you that again. Just roll it up so you kind of have a little bow shape just the size you want. You can fuss with it a little bit, make sure it's just the right size. Make it a little bit bigger. And then snip. Then you want to tie another piece of ribbon around it. Okay, so look to make sure you have a nice button in the middle, flip it over, and then tie a knot. It does help if you have an extra set of hands to hold down your ribbon while you're doing this, but you can totally be done with one pair of hands. You tie a nice tight knot, and then tie another knot, so you have a double knot here. You really need a strong knot. Alright, now you want to adjust your ribbon. So I'm still working from the spool. Got glue on my fingers. Still working from the spool here. Adjust your ribbon just the way you want it. And then you can trim it very closely. Okay, now at this point where you're trimming very closely, it's got to be glued onto your project very soon or it's going to come undone. Alright, so what I'm going to do is put a drop of glue where I want my bow here. And I'm just going to set it in the glue, making sure that it grabs those raw ends that I just cut. Okay, And then all I need to do is go through with my ribbon shears and trim my ends. Pull them down a little bit. And just give them a snip. And they have a perfect little mini bow. You don't need a fork, you don't need a bow tool. Very easy to do. And very little waste because we worked off the spool. I want to thank you so much for watching today. If you have any questions, you can leave a comment below. And make sure you check out the video description for links to all the Offray products I used, as well as special deals and discounts. I want to thank you so much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And until next time, happy crafting.